These are in the way.
Well, guess what? Welcome to being a soldier.
Oh, it's hard out here for a soldier.
This is like, you know how spouses whose spouse is pregnant and they wear the pregnancy belly to understand.
Yeah.
This is us doing this for the troops.
Oh my God, we are doing it for the troops. Is it because it was just Pearl Harbor?
Yeah.
Well, the actual Pearl Harbor happened a long time ago, but...
Yep, I remember.
Just the anniversary, is that why?
Yeah.
It's because I was looking at dirty text chains the other day, and there was one for Pearl Harbor, and it said something about dropping bombs on the pussy. You know the dirty, horny chains?
No, what are you talking about?
I started getting lost in Christmas dirty text chains. Things like, Merry Christmas, bitches. Now that it's finally Dickmas, Santa's about to slide down your hot chimney tonight.
Wait. You have to explain what you're talking. You went to a website that is other people's text threads?
Yeah, you remember like back in the days of yore when we had forwards and like emails like that. So then it turned into text chains.
I remember
and
that.
I remember
like
doing
10 years ago.
And whoa, like 10 years ago. Well, maybe it's getting a comeback, Natalie.
You didn't mean it like that.
No, I have a select group of people that every holiday we always send each other a different one of these. So I'm always looking for them for the holiday because what am I going to come up with this gold myself?
What do you think? So it's one of those texts that has all the emojis and a bunch of puns and insinuations.
So lick, squirt sign, lips, those juicy candy canes, and drink up that creamy eggnog baby bottle. It's about to get wet down at Santa's workshop. Eggplant.
Do you just wonder who's the artist?
Honestly, I give praise to them. This is my putting the Christ back in Christmas. I say put the dirty, horny text chains back in every holiday.
Okay. So I'm fuddling with my new ears. What do you think?
Are they new?
Yeah. I kind of like them.
Whoa.
They're longer. Not even, you don't care. You're looking at dirty text.
Make sure you don't get surprise attacked by his dick this Pearl Harbor Day. He's going to be the only thing going down tonight.
That is assault.
Let's see if he can find the pearl in your harbor.
That is not... There's nothing good about that text.
No, it's so sometimes I get lost doing that.
Wow. Check out my ears.
Oh, they look really good. They're very lifelike.
They're pointy.
Yeah, they're very pointy.
They're longer.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I'm not
they
sure.
Look sadder.
They look sadder?
Yeah, they look more sad.
Like, in what way?
They look like Dobby's ears.
Oh,
I think that's why. Because they're longer and they're
I didn't know ears could look sad, but
like when Wendy's
Dobby...
ears look sad. When you know she's got sad ears.
All right.
And you look like it. That's why every time I look at you, I go, oh.
Oh, good. I'm glad that's why. I want to take part of this costume off because it's very restricting, but look. Look at my costume.
Yeah.
I killed myself.
Wait, we can't see the face. See the face.
There we go.
Natalie killed herself. And the fin. Remember the fin from last week? It's still staying on, which means it wasn't glued to your head, but it was glued to the wig forever.
Or is my scalp on here?
Oh my God. Yep. That's dedication.
Yeah.
I thought this was dedication with my period stash, but it's not.
Better for than to have no lips like me.
Don't! Why are you creeping everybody out? We're supposed to get horny today.
I have no way to show my feelings that I fell deeply in love with Nesta. I was just trying to show her.
Check for the ears. Maybe the ears are sad. Maybe that'll make us feel bad for it.
I don't got any ears.
Boo!
All right, goodbye.
Hear this.
Goodbye,
you're
Kelpie head.
You're an idiot.
That was my severed Kelpie head talking, by the way. I know it was. You're like, who's that third person?
Yeah, different.
All right, I'm taking the mask off. I'm wearing the golden mask, but I'm taking it off because it's hard.
But you looked so good.
Thank you.
Isn't that worth it?
Thank you.
I did not realize, though, how different of a color my beard was to my hair. And it really
what I love is that it has glitter in it.
Yeah, it does. Well, all my eyeshadow has glitter in it, so it's really hard to find. I didn't go out to buy red paint for this. I just used red eyeshadow.
I mean, that's better than paint.
Right?
For a
I think
beard,
so.
For like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do a shadow because like I've been lost in the bog.
See, what we needed to do if we were going to help design this, you like put sticks in your hair.
Oh, yeah, I do need more garbage.
Shaggy's dressed like one of the missing soldiers in the bog currently, which I love.
And I'm like, give me a kiss.
No, they don't want to kiss anybody.
No, because they're all haggard.
They don't even know what they're doing.
No, they don't know what they're doing because they've got mind control or something.
Except we didn't get to them yet. Whoops.
Oops, we don't know that yet. I guess we'll get to them today.
We're about to. Because last time we left off, we lost a whole ass.
Oh my God. Where'd my ass go? I was like, I want more of it. I don't want less of it. Come on.
Come on now.
I'm getting everybody on the snail mucin train. You ever put mousse on you? Do you ever get mused?
Is that like the moisturizer-y?
Yeah, the snail mucin.
I don't think I have. How do you feel about it?
It's goopy.
Goopy?
Yeah, man, it's sloopy. You have to really put away your feelings about putting goo on your face.
Oh, I'm so past caring, but I put anything on there.
Then get that snail mucin, man.
All right.
It's really making me sup.
It's making you nice and you do look. Your skin looks great. Wow, it's so squishy.
Every time you touch my face.
Wow. It's like your face is a bog.
Oh, I am the bog now, dog.
At the start of chapter 33, Nesta and Cassian are shouting for Azrael, but their calls don't even produce an echo, swallowed by the thickness of the nothing in the bog.
Sick. Man, the way you wrote that makes it sound like, sexy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thickness.
It's hard to not really with these people, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm looking at your ears and I'm like, she looks sad. But I think she is sexy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to fix my ear, but it's just going to have to live like this today. New ears, you got to futz with them for a bit, you know?
Yeah, you got to really you have to like find your relationship with your ears.
Yeah, I'm not
right,
there yet today.
I mean, everyone's got ears at this point, right? Everybody, and if you don't, get them off Etsy. They're really not that expensive.
No.
And then you can have fun, playful
Just put them
ears.
on. Just put them on while you're listening.
Yeah.
It's fun. I have so many straps and
buckles,
clips on right now. It's really hard not to cause sounds going. So
again, dedication to your craft. You scalped yourself and you wear all the leathers.
It's just my art. My art.
Man, you're gonna have to wear wigs for a long time till that heals.
That's fine. Yeah, it's gross under here. It's a huge scab on my
head. I'm very scared of you. Don't touch me with your goop head.
It's not goopy right now. It's pretty dried over.
Oh, that's good. That means it's healing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, thanks. Cass, realizing that Azrael's gone, takes a swift drop down because he's up hovering in the air and Az is just no longer with him. And so he drops down closer to the ground and suddenly he can see the lights of Az's siphons through the fog on the ground. And then he gets a glimpse of what surrounds Azrael, and Cassian launches back into the sky, not to run, but to protect Nesta, because there are 24 Autumn Court soldiers surrounding Az.
It's me! It's me!
That's
Don't
scary.
Be scared.
That's scary.
You imagine someone coming after you like that? Just yelling, "It's me," like you're supposed to know who they are?
That would be absolutely terrifying.
I'd be very scared.
Very Lynchian.
Yeah.
Perhaps these are the 24 Autumn Court soldiers that Eris couldn't find.
Whoa, we're like eggs.
Oh, because
dozens.
Like eggs, yes. So at this time, Kaz is holding Nesta in the air as they're trying to go like figure out what's going on, and she screams, "Cassian, go back! Why are you taking us away from where Az is? You're wasting time." "I know what each second costs me, Nesta," he said quietly. "Put me down in a fucking tree, then!"
She pointed to one that they narrowly avoided.
So he flies down, he finds a tree, and he's like, basically puts her down in the tree, finds a specific stretch of land that looks relatively danger-free. puts her on a limb, tells her to wrap her arms around it, and he says, "Don't move." And then he's gone.
Oh my God, he's such a hero!
There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes.
Oh, yes.
We cut to Cassian flying straight back to Az. He pleads to the gods that Az is able to hold off the soldiers in those moments he had to drop Nesta, because they have succeeded in sending an ash bolt through his wing. So Az is grounded, but he's still able to, because he's so strong with his 7 siphons, he can still fight them. It's the only reason they aren't all dead already, because he lost part of his power. He sends his siphons flaring as he sees Az's blue ones once again through the mist.
The soldiers didn't have time to look up before Cassian was upon them. Blood sprayed and males screamed, power bouncing off the red of Cassian's siphons.
As Az holds off 6 soldiers using his battle skills alone, Cass goes full metal jacket. Imaginations.
All right, they're kissing then.
Yep.
Don't let me sit in my own imaginations, because then I'm going to start thinking about chain text, and I'm going to be thinking about...
No, you got to be here where there's no texting.
There's no texting in this world of our fae.
We're not in Crescent City,
No,
are
we
we?
certainly are not.
We cut back to Nesta, and she's beginning to panic. She's in this tree, waiting and waiting. She can't hear anything, and her limbs are tiring. There's just no sound around her, and she can't tell what's happening with the Illyrians. As time ticks by, she begins to scan the horizon, thinking back to the time in Highburn when he crawled for her at the end of the war. She knows she can't do much in battle to help him, but the unknowing of their fates is too much for her.
How far she's come!
Oh, she will at least try to help them fight instead of just staying up this tree. A coward, she calls herself. Though I say she's just being smart.
And also, yeah, if you're just going to be a hindrance on them and like you're just going to be in the way.
No.
Yeah, and he's going to be wanting to protect you, so he's not going to be taking care of himself, which he needs to be taken care of. I think it's actually fairly selfish to try to go down.
Especially if you're not willing to summon your power.
Yes.
Because you probably could crush all of these soldiers in like 3 seconds.
For sure. And once she is actually trained, she's going to be unstoppable. But for right now, it's like you're the one.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, man. She's gonna sing that song to herself. Maybe she'll get into like a Lady Gaga video.
Okay.
It'll be difficult.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to transcend times, but
Right.
that's fine.
Okay.
We could do that in this world.
All right. Well, maybe that's what's going to happen at the end of the book. I don't know.
Oh my God, I don't even know.
She carefully eases herself down the dead tree, branch over branch, until she finally finds solid ground. She looks around the barren lands and realizes that she's going to have to go through the water to head in his direction. Her breath begins to catch in panic, but the image of Cassian hurt or dying gets her feet moving.
She scanned the shoreline 5 feet ahead for any hint of shallower water to wade through to the nearest mossy island, covered in flesh-shredding thorns. But the water was so black it was impossible to determine if it was shallow or if it dropped to a bottomless pit.
I don't know, girl. I don't know if this is the move.
Nah, stay in the tree. Just take care of yourself. That is what is best for everyone in this situation.
Well, she doesn't care.
No, she doesn't. And it's just, there's times like this when you're not being a heroine right now.
Yes.
You're being a meth.
Is that, you saying meth is
instead of heroin.
Instead of heroin. The opposite. Got it.
Man, I'm killing it today,
you are
y'all.
crushing it.
It's because I'm all bog-brained. It's not my fault.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She decides she's going to have to risk it. She steps to the edge of the water and looks down. A calm voice somewhere from deep inside of her tells her to run. Run away. Run fast. But she can only think of running towards Cassian. She watches her reflection for a moment until she hears something scrabbling in the brush nearby. Her eyes dart up. hoping against hope that she'll see Cassian's red siphons. But she sees nothing. Realizing she has to move, she turns her face back to the water and her reflection.
And found a pair of night dark eyes looking back through it.
Uh-oh. That's not the color of her eyes.
No, it's no good.
She's shocked and she reels back, tripping over herself, falling to the ground, eyes on the space in the water where she just spotted the thing. And a face rises through the black.
It was whiter than bone and humanoid, male. Bit by bit, inch by inch, the head rose above the black water, obsidian hair drifting in the water around the creature, so silken it might as well have been the surface. Ew, if this is what's looking back at you?
Yes,
Get
so
back
I just
in the
wanted to
tree.
know if you wanted to go on a date with me.
No! That was creepy, Natalie. Thank you for making it come to life in the studio.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a puppet master.
Whoa.
Me and MJ are gonna have to battle it out.
No, I don't want to. I feel like then I'm
Two
just,
puppet
don't
people
creep
around you?
me out. Then I'm gonna like come over to your house. The house is gonna be filled with puppets, and it's gonna be a whole thing. And then I'm gonna have to like be in the house at times by myself.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna
and
get
then they're
really
gonna look at you.
scared, and they're all gonna start talking to me, and then they're gonna like start asking me to do things for them, and I'm gonna feel like I have to do the things for them.
When you watch our dogs, you already have to. We have a cheddar goblin that faces you when you're watching TV.
Yes,
With a little demon bride.
I give them offerings every time
Well,
I
you do
stay.
too.
I know you do, so that's why I also give them offerings to make sure that like they're cool with me.
I think that's a good idea.
I just make sure. Also, isn't the chair haunted or something?
Legend says.
Legend says the chair. They're sitting in a haunted chair. You're not even bringing up the haunted chair part of the story.
You know,
That's what scares me the most.
it's pretty
So
creepy.
I
too.
leave offerings to just the entity that is the chair.
Have you considered giving something to the chair? What would the chair want?
I don't know. WWCD. Walk on water.
What would chairs want? WWCW.
Oh yeah, that's cuter.
What would chair want?
What would chair want? What ain't chair asking for?
His spooky, scary face terrifies her, and she notes that his mouth is too wide, which is a very scary sight. Like, it's very much like the Black Hole Sun video.
Won't you come wash away the rain? I think that music video is why I wanted to, in my head, like what made me a goth girl. Like on the inside.
When I was little, that scared the shit out of me, that video. I was so scared of it. But I like, in that way where I was like, I love it, but I'm so scared, but I love it.
Then you watch it. A friend of ours has 4 little nieces, all under the age of 7, and they're all into spooky stuff. And it's so cute because they all want to dress up as spooky things for Halloween. And so they're at these like genuinely scary places, and they're all like in these pictures, like smiling because they're so excited. And I'm like, I love that. I love little spooky kids that are just like scared, but not too scared to not enjoy it.
That definitely, especially when they do it themselves, because there is this other toxic. We always talk about like toxic dance moms and stuff.
Yeah.
When I used to do horror conventions all the time, when I worked in indie horror for a long time, all of these parents would be like coming up to us with their tiny little kids, being like, "My kid is not scared of anything," like trying to like. I'm like, these are not children's movies. Please take your kids somewhere where there's like a playground, because the kid's like, yeah, I like these hardcore indie horror movies.
I don't want the kids to be forced to do it if they're scared.
But that sounds like a nice version.
No, it's a nice version. They are choosing it, and they also don't watch the movies. They're just allowed to look at like the pictures. And they're allowed,
which
to look
is what
at the
I
posters.
loved as a kid too.
Yeah,
I couldn't. I was too scared to watch movies until I was like 14. Honestly, like horror movies.
Was there one that like truly got you, and that was the reason that you didn't continue to watch them?
I was obsessed with horror since I was. And ghosts and haunting supernatural things since I was old enough to start reading. Like, I've always loved it. I think it's because of Ghostbusters and my little next door neighbors. I've told this story. The Sluck brothers that lived across from me, their dad was obsessed with all things supernatural, and he had a tarantula. And so we were just always listening to like Halloween soundtrack records and stuff.
It was like, oh!
So I loved it, but it was that I was the kind of kid who was also so scared of going into like haunted houses and like. I would have to leave out emergency exit if I went in, but I would try all the time. And so I remember being about 11 in at a sleepover, and we were supposed to be watching Candyman, and
which still is very scary.
Yeah, I mean that's hardcore for an 11-year-old's birthday party. But it was the least cool kid at the party, and I was like trying to make myself stay in the room, but I just kept sneaking out and like asking the mom if like, do you have any like chips? Just so I could like escape watching
Poor
it.
little Natalie, I just want to take care of you.
Guess what? Not invited to any other cool parties.
No. Well, now you're invited to cool parties.
I don't.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what we tell ourselves. Yeah. You're just, now you can watch the movies.
All right, we're getting way off on a tangent here.
I am proud of you, Natalie.
Thank you.
You are invisible. That's a different song.
I'm unstoppable. So she's seeing this terrifying Kelpie.
That too wide mouth parted, twin rows of rotted teeth, jagged as shards of glass, filled his mouth as he smiled.
Ew. The terror is too much for her, and she feels a warmth in her lap as she wets herself in fear. The Kelpie can sense this, and it seems to thrill him. His long body continues to ascend from the water as she watches, frozen in horror. He begins to speak in a rasping language she doesn't understand. Nesta can't move her legs. She's too terrified. As he wraps his claws into her and breaks her skin into the lower part of her leg, the pain wakes her up and she begins thrashing, but it's too late. There isn't even a branch to grab onto, just sand and dirt running through her fingers as he begins to pull.
The Kelpie towed her along as he slithered back into the frigid water and dragged her under the surface.
What are we gonna do?
Oh my God! These Kelpies these days, I tell ya!
Right?
Man, it's just like, can't a girl just hang out in a tree anymore?
Mm-mm. We cut over to Cassian and Azriel. Just when they're out of their danger, something else has got to happen. So they're over with the soldiers. They've basically slain them all, but they've left 2 soldiers. Yeah, wait, are you one of the alive ones, though?
I'm alive.
I'm
alive!
There's 2 left. So
look at my flowing hair. Of course I'm alive. You think that this could be dead?
Another Sia song. I'm alive.
Oh, man. Did you see that video of her singing at the dinner, of her just sitting at Kathy Griffin's?
I'm still on a break with
Sia.
because
of music? Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
But they've left these 2 soldiers alive, unsure of what to do, and they want to know, like, who's commanded them to act in this manner, or are they doing it on their own? But they quickly realize they're not going to get any answers here.
Their faces were vacant, not a trace of fear in them, or innocence.
I like this posture you're taking. I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know why my hands are up, mister. I guess you're gonna have to kiss me. Get any.
Right, because he captured you.
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe if you give me a kiss, I'll tell you who did this.
Maybe that's all I need. You get more flies with honey. I should
and
start
your lips
using that.
Like honey.
I should start using that sexually. Get more flies with honey.
With your husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stare him dead in the eyes. Get more flies with honey.
I don't even know if he'll understand what he's supposed to do. I
No,
think he's going to be
won't.
like, what do you want from me?
What do you want from me? I'll do it. Just stop.
Stop doing
that. Stop talking like that.
They use their siphons to create bindings around the 2 soldiers, planning on taking them back to the night court for questioning.
It's really hard to not think about the bindings from the craft. I know that we bring up the craft probably too often, but I know that the bindings aren't the same. But I just imagine them just being like, I bind you, soldier that I don't know the name of.
You've never done a binding ritual yourself?
Yeah. Oh, I have.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I just want to dream about the craft.
Let's please all day.
I did it because of the craft. When then, like, my mom, like encouraged me to read more into, like, the actual studies that they worked on in the craft. And then, like, it was, like, once I learned that it was a real thing, I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I think that there's actually validity in doing certain kinds of bindings. Anyway, Azriel tells him they need to get Nesta and leave immediately, which sends Cassian into the air. He's like, oh, fuck, Nesta. So he starts aiming towards the strip of land where he left Nesta, hoping it was as safe as he had imagined for her. He hears Azriel fall behind him, able to fly at least for the moment through his injury.
Cassian tracked Nesta by scent back to that tree, the mist lightening only as its uppermost branches appeared. But Nesta wasn't in it.
Nesta! He screams, follows her scent.
Stay in the tree! You were told
you had one
to
job.
Stay in the tree!
One job. Nesta, he screams, follows her scent from the tree and realizes he tracks her scent to the water's edge and can find it no more. The surface is completely undisturbed, and he swings his head wildly, his mind roaring. He screams again, Nesta!
Oorid devoured his roar before it could echo across the black water.
At the start of chapter 36, we're with Nesta, and she is drowning. She can't see through the blackness of this water, but is being pulled by razor-sharp claws downward. In the last fight for survival, she remembers she has weapons. She was strapped.
Yeah, girl!
Blindly, she grabs for the knife at her side, swipes down, hoping not to stab herself in the process. She makes contact. For a moment, the hand jerks and releases, and she begins flailing, trying to make her way back up, but it's futile. This is the Kelpie's land, his rules.
Whoa.
She feels
like Outback.
Just like Outback. She feels his body slam into her. His claws wrap around her throat, and he pushes her into some form of silty wall of stone under the water. She can only feel shock as the Kelpie's mouth collides with hers, prying hers open, the taste of rotting entering past her lips.
For a heartbeat, she wasn't beneath the water, but against a woodpile in the human lands. Thomas's hard mouth crushing into hers, his hands pawing at her.
She frantically pulls her head away, but he's too strong. Suddenly, he blows rotted breath down into her lungs, and she realizes that he's trying to give her more air, as though wanting to keep her alive a little longer for his own needs.
Look, Kelpie, you creepy.
Yuck. Gross.
Also, undealt with trauma coming up here.
Well, like, it is sort of a mimic of that moment. She's pushed up against a wall again, but also by a sea creature.
Ooh, with rotting mouth. And this is not the kisses that I've been asking for.
These are not the kisses you've been asking for. Is that Star Wars?
Whoa, no. But I love.
These are not the droids.
Hashtag nerd girls.
Right? These are not the droids you've been looking for?
I've only seen the first one. I don't know. I saw it for the first time not that many years ago. I understand and appreciate and respect where it is in cinema history.
These are not the droids you're looking
Is that
for?
the most? I'm trying to not offend. I'm not. It's just, if you see it for the first time as an adult and you know all the beats of it, like, I was just like, this is great. This is cool. You know, good.
Wow, you're really just you're flailing
burying myself over here. I feel like I got bog brain.
I took you down this path, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't have to confess. I could have just said, "Yeah, droids, ain't 'em,
hate 'em,
ain't 'em,
ain't 'em."
Yeah, man,
oh, ain't 'em,
ain't 'em. You know that phrase?
Yeah, ain't 'em. That doesn't actually work. You can't breathe breath to keep somebody alive underwater.
You'd have to be able to exhale oxygen, which maybe he does for this specific reason, because, like, if he's exhaling, it depends on what he does with the water. Like, maybe he uses the water and, like, takes the oxygen out and takes it in his mouth and then he puts it in her mouth.
Wow.
Yeah, like, everyone goes to me with their science questions because they're like, Jackie, she knows. Dr. Jackie, please. They call me in the streets.
Dr. Jackie.
I don't have a PhD, but I do have a pretty hard dick. Because I'm a soldier.
Because you're a soldier. And you're attracted to Cassian.
I'm attracted to Cassian.
Gripping her throat, he rips away her weapons with his free claws. Then once again fills her lungs with his rotted breath He begins to grope her body, seeming to savor her fear. That is bullshit. You're going to get mutilated and molested?
Yeah, it's just, and you're like underwater, so you're also drowning at the same time. This is too much. Talk about like, man, she's going to have to unpack this. This is a rough experience.
I mean, at least she was already morphed inside of an ancient cauldron, so she's probably already at least been through. She's like, oh, another day, I guess.
Yeah, just used to it at this point.
Yeah. As she gags on his disgusting breath, he seems to laugh at her. He begins to drag her down into what seems into some form of lair, the remnants of other victims scattered about like trophies. Bones, too. Some still held flesh. And then something glowing golden. Ahead, out of reach but nearing. Nesta thinks for a moment, this is my power. I forgot I have all these powers.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm like totally like a badass bitch.
Yeah. So she thinks, oh, my powers are trying to surge. But as it grows nearer to her and her fingers graze the sides, she realizes it's not her power. Not exactly.
Like call to like.
The Kelpie, savoring these moments, doesn't notice what flies to Nesta.
Her feet and legs sliced into dagger-sharp objects, ripping open on a few. Power lay in her hand. Death gripped her by the other.
So he's dragging.
Badass.
Yeah, the Kelpie's dragging her, and he's not looking behind where Nesta is reaching for something. Then her hand grasps the golden object, and the Kelpie stalls as if sensing a shift.
But not fast enough. He couldn't stop her from slamming the mask onto her face.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Kelpie. Guess you're super fucked now, aren't you?
Yeah, fuck you, Kelpie.
Probably should have made better life choices, but now you're here.
Yeah, and stop eating everybody and groping them under the water.
At least just eat them if you have to survive that way.
Yeah, and do it fast, you not nice bog monster.
You're mean.
Man, we would be so good. Get us back on the bully track, man. Let's start getting at people. We're so good at it now.
I feel so bad being mean to people.
Man, I do have the power though. If I'm angry enough, I'm really, I can verbally be very mean.
I mean,
and it's hard. It's a scary thing to have that lays within you. You know what I mean?
There is a value to it. Sometimes the person might deserve it, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes when they don't. I've worked for a long time to
I've
keep
never
those
seen
thoughts
you
inside.
lash out.
No, I haven't done it in, I think, 10 years. But, it's still like it lies under the surface waiting. Like a Kelpie.
Like a Christmas text.
You want me to keep reading them? I can go.
No!
The Pearl Harbor one was really...
I think we can just end it there. Nesta and the mask surge together, and through it, Nesta seems to notice the thousands of corpses down here, just as if she's casually taking in her surroundings all of a sudden. And that's partially because whatever deep power lies inside the mask, it has prevented her from needing to breathe. She just exists.
Whoa.
Nesta feels the cold magic of the mask and accepts it into her. For a moment, the Kelpie is taken aback, but then steels himself in anger and begins to launch at her once again. But he can't. He's stuck.
I wonder if this is like mass writing about like a DMT experience, like where it's just like where you don't, like the idea of you doesn't exist anymore. Like you just are.
Maybe.
And that's like what you feel as you go through it. And so maybe that's something that she's been through.
Ask her.
All right. When we become best friends, I will ask her.
Okay, great.
After like we've had multiple like heart to hearts, that's not
Right.
something you ask on the first hang.
Yeah.
That's like a third, fourth hang. After you've, especially when you start hanging out with a new friend by yourself for the first time.
Oh my God, that's so much pressure.
It's just like, it is dating.
It
you
is.
are
It's
dating a person.
It's like a very nervous thing.
You're just like, I don't know what they like. Will they like doing this? Maybe they're just doing it because I asked them to do it.
You never get to escape that.
Man.
That's what keeps you alive.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Kelpie whips his head around and sees a skeletal hand around his ankle. Another fleshy, dismembered hand grabs him by the hair. Nesta, through the mask, has developed the power to summon the dead.
Awesome! Though she had fought back against Tomas, against the cauldron, against the king of Hybern. They had all happened to her. She had survived, but she had been helpless and afraid. Not today. Today, she would happen to him. Yes, bitch! Yes!
Get it, Nesta!
Get it!
Corpse after corpse, many still wearing their armor, many still with flesh on their bones, begin to rise in the water and converge on the Kelpie.
Oh, imagine I feel like all their, parts of flesh are just gonna be, hanging in the water, too, and you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to swim through the flesh.
Squishy.
I guess you just, in your brain, you could just tell yourself it's seaweed.
Sure. I mean, at this point...
When in Rome.
You've seen enough. I don't know if this will be the breaking point.
Yeah, you're right.
A disembodied skull with pointy teeth locks its jaws into the Kelpie's neck.
Awesome!
These are the soldiers who were sent here as a sign of respect after battle, and whose bodies became snacks for this creature. And now it's time for payback.
And it is a bitch, isn't it? Just like Nesta.
Yep. Nesta's a payback bit. Nesta and payback are both a bitch.
Both a bitch, ain't it? I wish, at the end of the He Who Must Not Be Names, not my daughter, you bitch! Which my mom still quotes to me all the time from Mrs. Weasley.
She's just like Mrs. Weasley.
Yep.
She watches his terror passively, not an ounce of regret in her body. She smiles, and the Kelpie watches as she commands the bodies to rip him apart. We cut to Cassian and Asriel, who are in a blind panic upside the water. Cassian has waded into the dangerous waters, attempting to see any sign of her, up to his waist, crying out her name. Az has taken to the sky, attempting to see from a bird's-eye view if he can spot her tracks. Cassian smelled her urine on the shore and knows in his heart she saw something bad enough to fill her with that terror.
But part of me would be like, oh God, he smelled my urine on the shore. Hopefully he never brings that up to her, because that is, so embarrassing.
When you command an entire army of the dead afterwards,
I guess you don't bring it up. Yeah, I pissed. What of it?
I did see somebody comment on some photo of this moment in, fan art somewhere, saying, I couldn't take this scene seriously because I knew she had peed herself, and I was like,
well,
that's preventing you from seeing this is awesome.
Yeah, it's an involuntary thing, so it's because it's literally like a fight or flight, that's like a brain reaction. You can't control it.
If you piss yourself and then do this, you are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
If you're that scared and then you figure out how to
or even if you just survive,
again.
You know what I mean? We don't have to bring up the piss part.
It's really not. That was such a weird. I was like, I don't understand that.
You
sentiment,
can't take it seriously. Well, also, get over yourself. Sounds like somebody's ever pissed themselves before,
or maybe they pissed themselves too much, and now
they've got issues with it. And so maybe that's what they need to go work on themselves.
They need to go command an army of dead and see how they feel about it.
Think about that. Get a mask. Go under the water. Get a mask.
Again and again, he screams out her name as panic and despair threatens to overtake his senses. He knows that there is a very solid chance they're going to find her body. Az lands close by with no news. Kaz plunges his hands into the water, trying not to think about the fact that it may be a corpse he pulls up.
He hurled himself forward, and only Asriel's hand at the collar of his armor halted him. Az snarled,
"Look!" The two males watch as the water begins to ripple in front of them. What?
Then the spears broke the surface.
An army of the dead begins to appear as one unit, marching in rusted armor, skeletons and fleshy bodies, all breaking the surface of the water together. "Mother, save us,"
Asriel whispered.
Cass and Az watch from right past the shoreline as row after row appears from the death, until the front line reaches the edge of the water, and then the army of dead kneels. And Nesta appears. She breaks through the surface of the water. The mask is sitting upon her face like a second skin, her braid ripped from her bun, her eyes burning with silver death.
A Kelpie's head dangled by its sheet of black hair, torn up face, frozen in a scream, exactly as the King of Hybern's head had hung from her hand.
This girl got heads.
Whoa. She is into beheading. Cassian, you better keep that dick away from her. She gonna get some ideas.
The males gape in awe as they feel her power surge all around them. She drops the Kelpie's head back into the water where she stands, and it disappears, while she seems to float on top of the water with her army. Asriel begins to shake.
But they were both Illyrian, whether Az liked it or not. In this book, it's so crazy.
It is crazy.
Because there's so much of it, so much of this book where I'm just like, about Nesta. And then, man, she just slaps that right out of your mouth.
Slaps that
Yeah, man.
Az and Cass bow to the surface of the water, so they bring their faces down as far as they can go as she stands before them. Cass lifts his eyes up from the bow and sees that Nesta is pulling the mask from her face. In that instant, the army of dead drop under the surface, as though their reanimation was dependent on the mask merging with Nesta. He realizes that Nesta is beginning to sink as well, and flails forward, catching her just as she's about to go under. He scoops her up, and she doesn't fight. Her body seems drained and allows herself to be carried back to the shore. Cass looks with relief as he sees that her eyes have returned to their normal blue-gray.
Man, it would have been awesome if they were forever silver death colored.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to have a regular, what do you want for breakfast? Ah!
But she's clearly been through something terrible. He notes the deep wounds on her face as she shakes in his arms. He just holds her tightly on the shore, and then she loses consciousness. They make quick out of the bog. Rough day.
Man, this is just, she's going through a lot, man.
She really is.
And I think that she's dealing with it well. If she had just stayed in the tree.
Probably should have just stayed in the tree,
but
she
then
got the mask.
She got the mask. And then she wouldn't have found this power within her.
At chapter 37, we're with Cass inside of a scary room in the Court of Nightmares later that same day. He, along with Az and Reese, are trying to learn what they can from the Autumn Court soldiers who are wandering around in the Bog of Oorid. It's some kind of interrogation room with a trap door under it filled with some kind of beast under it. You know.
Don't make me horny, Natalie. Ooh, what kind of beasts are in there?
I don't know, but, they just sound like they're hungry. It's not their fault. They crave the blood of Fae.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. They're just little creatures. I don't know why they have to live underneath a torture room, but that's what I guess they do.
Maybe they like it. Maybe they've asked
You're right.
for this.
Maybe they do like the darkness.
Yeah, and they'd rather they feel more comfortable down there. Maybe they have trauma in their past too.
Oh, and this helps them.
Yeah.
It's just like the priestesses in the library.
Yeah, think of the beasts and the priestesses. The beasts and
the beastesses. The beastesses. Also,
that's a sexy word too.
The beastesses?
Yeah, the beastesses are coming. I feel like they're all just like Greta Gremlins, and they all got big honkos.
They're just down there
and I'm like, okay, yes.
So Cass is with the others from the Night Court in this room with these soldiers. Feyre and Amren are also there. Cassian thinks about how Nesta is safe in the Moonstone Palace above the Court of Nightmares, the very same one that Feyre went to when she was taken by Rhysand all those months ago. Again, Moore is not here. I think we're gonna find her on this entire consecutive adventure during this entire book, because she's not in any of the scenes.
There's no way that it's not going to get into one, because whatever she's doing, it's important.
Yeah.
And I know that we're going to learn about it at some point.
Assuming it's also a bunch of
kissing,
queer sex.
A bunch of kissing. God, imagine those scenes.
Although I'm waiting.
Ooh.
Nesta is okay, but in a state of unconsciousness up in the Moonstone Palace, but is being very heavily warded and protected. Amren confirms what they believe when they countered these soldiers initially, that they are in some sort of trance from enchantments. Rhys also acknowledges that when he entered their mind, it was like walking into a room of fog.
Yeah, they say about that about my mind too, but that's just because I'm 420 friendly. Yeah. Can you imagine going through my brain?
Oh, maybe they're just stoned.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They were just like having a blast. Sometimes you gotta go to the bog and have a blast.
Sometimes you get lost in the bog.
Oh, I've done that a couple of times in my life.
Getting lost in the bog.
I don't remember any of it, but I've been lost in the bog a couple of times.
Did a man in armor and with wings take you out of the bog and go like,
oh my God, I thought I dreamed that. I thought I was just sleeping in the bog. It turns out I was dreaming in the bog.
Dreaming in the bog. Still, they're there to try to question them over and over. These soldiers are definitely under some spell, but they still try to get something out of them, even with the added pressure, I guess, of what Azrael does. He tortures them. They don't break.
But it's not their fault that they're under an enchantment.
I know. And Feyre, who is simply observing from the wall of the room, asks the others if it's really okay to be using these tactics if they're under a spell of maybe Brialyn or Kolshki. They all look at each other at that point and go like, oh.
Yeah, think about me. Think about what I'm going through, please, for a second. And if they haven't tried kissing, may you think of it.
They didn't try it, and that's on them.
Always with the violence. Never with the kissing first.
What's your saying?
Oh, yeah. Always dump honey. And then you hump.
You just said it's going to be much more flies with honey.
Oh, yeah. I got to catch your flies with honey. And I just point down at my dick. And then they're like, why do you keep saying that? But I don't remember anything else. But
is your dick the fly? No, the dick's the flies.
No, my mouth is the honey?
I don't know. I'm not sure how that works out.
That or just hope there's no bears around and I'll just squirt a bunch of honey down there.
On your dick?
Yeah. I go, you get more flies with honey.
Get your dick chewed off.
Yeah. Or licked.
By a bear?
Maybe they just want the honey.
I think even if a bear licked your dick, it would rip it off. Aren't their tongues giant and scratchy?
Ooh, I don't know. I've never been licked by a bear.
You know what? I haven't either. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would assume they have scratchy tongues. Let's be real here. I think we're all assuming they have scratchy tongues.
I assumed. So Feyre is positing maybe this is not a fair and just thing to be doing.
Thank you.
Finally, Rhys says, no, it isn't. Rhys is like, our bad dogs. You know, at the two soldiers, they've just been cutting open for several hours.
Oops. Guess we should have stopped.
Feyre's obviously not thrilled at this practice and tells them they need to get a hold of Helion to see if he can break their trance. Rhys is all, yes, dude.
Yeah, what is this, a honey-do list?
Yeah, right? And Cass can see Rhys filled with shame as the mates exchange some inner dialogue.
But Feyre, Cassian knew, had been aware of what she'd see before entering, and well aware that these 10 minutes had only been the opening movements in a symphony of pain that Azrael could conduct with brutal efficiency.
What is he, Hellraiser?
Man, the opening movements in a symphony of pain? That, I know that shouldn't make me more attracted to Azrael, but it does.
See,
that's hot.
I don't know why. I get why people find that sexy. The idea of the pain stuff, like, I get why people think Pinhead is sexy and all that. But
yeah.
I just can't. I can't.
Yeah, I'm like, stuff. I don't want it on me. Like, I don't want it to happen to me, and I don't want to watch it happen to anyone else. But also, it's just something, like, mysterious and deep about someone that has the capacity to do it, I think. Sure. And that's what's so, like, scary sexy. And I think it's on that verge of scary sexy that people dig. Like, the people that are into, like, blood play and knife play and stuff like that. Where it's just like, whoa, man. Like, that's a whole different ball game.
Listen, no judgments.
I know
people can do that in a healthy way.
Yeah, as long as everyone's consenting and there's communication, great. But
not for me.
Not for me. No. But I do think Pinhead, though, like with the deep voice and like what a commanding presence he has.
He's always just talking about putting hooks in you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't want the hooks.
get a hobby, get something else to be interested in.
I think that is his hobby. And honestly, isn't it nice that he got so good at his hobby that he became like the king of it?
Turned it into a job.
Yeah. He's an influencer.
He's a pinfluencer.
He's a goddamn it, Natalie. He's a pinfluencer. You've been hanging out with me too long, bitch.
Yeah. Yep. They briefly discuss what sort of consequences there will be for Cass and Az killing the Autumn Court soldiers, but Feyre rightly points out they didn't have a choice in the matter. They had to kill them. They literally could not kill them.
They were attacking them. You got to do what you got to do. But how is Eris going to take it off?
Oh, how's he going to deal with it? They also don't know, is Eris in on this? Is he part? We still don't know if we can totally trust him.
We don't know.
Still, Cassian feels a heaviness for the lives he took. Even if they acted because they had to, Cassian is a good male, and he feels the weight of each of those lives. The group leaves the scary room and all make their way back up above to the Moonstone Palace, where not only Nesta sleeps, but the mask is being held behind wards in a deeply concealed room. They get to the top, they get into the palace, and they head towards where the mask is being kept. Rhys is at the front of the group as he opens the door, and Cass sees him start.
Nesta sat at the table, staring at the cloth-covered mask.
Oh!
Oh!
Rhys is like, hey, buddy, what are we doing over here? Hey, you having a look? Having a little. Just like knowing this person is just like got death in their bones.
Yeah, she got
staring
death
at
eyes.
magical.
Yeah, man. Kind of creepy.
Because they had warded the door to be locked, like past 1 million locks, so she shouldn't be in there. Nesta, who seems to be of sound mind again, tells the room that the door was open for her and she walked in. Further, she says the mask called to her. Cassian watches her and realizes that she's looking him over to make sure he isn't injured. He's incredulous and wonders how she could be worried about him when she was covered in bruises and has healing but still very deep cuts, like big teeth gashes through her lips. Right now, we as the reader know what happened to her under the surface of the water, but none of the others know. So currently, they're trying to understand why and how Nesta is connected to the mask, and they have to sort of dance around it because of their kind of fear of Nesta.
Yeah, dude.
Because she could kill them all. So,
especially because she doesn't know how to control it, so you have no idea. What if it just like erupts out of her?
Yeah. So they're trying to get information from her delicately, but Amren tells her bluntly that only a fool would put the mask on their face.
What was she supposed to do, Amren?
Amren, come on, Amren.
And also, like, guffaw for taking care of her own damn self.
Amren
would have put the mask on if she could have put the mask on.
Yeah, and it's Amren's way of trying to say that she's worried for her, but that she can't say those words.
Yeah.
She continues on to say that most people who've put the mask on have had to be beheaded to get it off of them again. That it's supposed to be the evil genie version of getting what you wished for. You can control the dead, but you can never take it off again, lest you become the dead. I wished it to let go, and it did.
Nesta said, surveying Amren with cool disdain.
Rhys, seeming to work this out in real time, tells the room that it must be because she was also a maid, and that most people got worn by the mask, not the other way around, if you will. And like calls to like and all of that stuff. They are somewhat evenly matched, her and the mask.
Can we just like go ahead and say, why didn't you tell us this before? You know, like we were talking about the mask, you know, like I'm going to go try to find the mask. And you're not going to bring up the fact, like this would have been really good information to have.
I think maybe he didn't know. I think maybe he's trying to now ponder through it. Like
and figure out why it like that was the case in the past and why now it's not the case.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with this severed head thing. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like, I don't know why
I'm saying. Like she could have fucking said this already.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot.
Yeah. I mean, she would have, like, probably not put the mask on, but at least she would have, like, made a, like, willing decision being like, well, let's see if I hope for the best.
Yeah, be like, you probably shouldn't put the mask on, by the way.
Yeah.
Would probably been a good thing.
Give me a heads up.
Yeah.
Our
Azrael-
costumes are both so loud. I just feel like both of us are like...
Azrael muses on whether that was why Briallen had sent the soldiers there to the bog to try to stake out where the mask might be for her. Nesta tells the room the mask needs to be destroyed. Amren says no, and in no uncertain terms, the mask can be destroyed. It can only be handled. Cauldron-made objects must be treated as nuclear waste, and that if somebody else got their hands on it, it would be bad. So it's best to keep it close to them, unfortunately. Feyre ponders whether Nesta could be responsible. Maybe she could, because she's made and like calls to Lake, that she would make the best wards around the room, since they are connected. And whenever they're kind of pondering this in this conversation, Nesta accidentally lets her feelings slip out. She tells the room that she doesn't know how to do those kinds of wards and spells, that she had failed at learning them. Failed. This seems to shed some light on Nesta for Feyre. She hadn't connected that Nesta perhaps felt like a failure, that she had actually tried really hard with Amren and just couldn't do it. Because I think maybe she assumed that Nesta was just like, what?
And just not
whatever.
trying at all.
But maybe Nesta was really trying and she couldn't figure it out. Nesta seems to pick up her slip and sort of pushes past it. Tell me how to do the spells and I'll try.
Good for you, girl.
Yeah.
It's hard to get back up on that horse, especially when you feel like a failure.
It's true.
Yeah, you do you, girl.
Yeah. You wet yourself earlier. How much more can it,
And your fuck buddy smelled your urine.
But
it would be difficult to get past it. But you also commanded a dead army, so good for you.
I'm sure that Cassian's peed himself once or twice on the battlefield. You know
Sure, because again, you can't help it from happening.
No. Rhys gently speaks to Nesta too and says that perhaps Helion can help teach her as well as Amren. There is an awkward silence, and Cassian fills it with a joke about how Helion probably wouldn't help Nesta because Nesta turned him down last time. Nesta rolls her eyes, and Cassian is filled with relief to see such a normal, spicy self, Nesta, return. Their conversation turns to Nesta's physical state, and she brushes off their urges to go get looked at by Madja. They ask her how she ended up getting taken by the Kelpie, because again, they don't know yet. And Cassian realizes here that she had left her tree after only 30 minutes because she was worried that Cassian was dead. But she keeps saying both of you.
Yes,
pointedly.
but she and he both know that she's talking about Cassian, which is cute, but again, frustrating.
It is. So she doesn't say specifically, but she says things between the lines and he can read it. Nesta continues her story and tells him that the Kelpie spoke to her in a language she didn't understand. Rhys goes into her mind to relive the memory alongside her. When he returns, he's pale. He turned to Amren and tells her to listen to what he's just recovered from Nesta's memory.
Even Amren's face paled at whatever Rhys showed her, and then she was shaking her head, her black bob of hair swaying.
That is a dialect of our tongue that has not been spoken in 15,000 years.
Damn! That's a long time.
That's a long time. Az wants to know what was said. And this, I'm always wondering if SJM is playing with time in these series, and sometimes I wonder if the Crescent City world is supposed to be the past from this, which makes me think that the Kelpie is speaking English. Like
hey, yo, wait, get on there.
Queen's accent.
Get over here!
Are you my sacrifice, sweet flesh?
Oh, forget about it.
How pale and young you are. Tell me, are they resuming the sacrifices to the waters once more?
Yeah!
No gods can save you. I shall take you, little beauty, and you shall be my bride before you on my supper.
Honestly, kind of cute.
Yeah.
Liked her so much, he wanted to wed her before he ate her. And if that's not love, I don't know what is.
He wanted to put a ring on it and then eat it.
Girl, you are looking good as you drown.
They contemplate the horror of knowledge that ancient Fae used to give sacrifices over to the Kelpies. And basically what they're learning through this reliving of this experience of Nesta's is that this is an ancient being and it somehow is still alive. They didn't even know if Kelpies still existed. And Amren says in the past, people used to give sacrifices of bodies over to the Kelpies because they believed it would prevent them from snatching the children. And so apparently there was a lot of Kelpies at one point. Ehrman asserts that Nesta may have killed one of the very last. As they process all that's transpired.
I know that you didn't mean it in that way, but part of me was just like, well, don't make me feel guilty.
Yeah,
you know,
wow, endangered species?
Yeah, wow, killing, you may as well kill a unicorn. Good for you, Nesta. But I know that she didn't mean it in that way.
No. As they process all that's transpired, Nesta tells the group she hadn't been calling for the mask, but was seeking out her own power, and the mask came instead.
Like calls to like.
Like calls to like. Amryn goes, so you admit it, your power's still there. Like a true-born mean girl.
That's what I'm saying. Amryn's like very like being like above Nesta in this, but it's like this bitch is literally death. So
it's true. And Amryn, she doesn't have her vast well of power anymore, but she's still got the tood.
Yeah, man.
Like she does. Nesta looks like she's ready for a fight. So
Cassian stepped in before things went south.
All right, let Lady Death get some rest.
Man, if I was called Lady Death, I would goosh everywhere. Ain't nobody calling me Lady Death. Surprise. Not one of my many nicknames. But how sick would that be?
Well, I think Nesta probably semi-likes it too, but she has to act like she doesn't.
She's acting like it, but you know that she likes it. Like, yeah, you're right, bitch. I am Lady Death, you fuck.
She says it's not funny, but in a way that relaxes Cassian. More of a middle school flirtation anger. We cut to Nesta, who's been told to remain at the Moonstone Palace to rest, and she's too tired to argue.
She barely noted the opulent bedroom, overhanging the side of the mountain, snow-capped peaks gleaming in the sunshine all around, a bed piled with glowingly white linens and pillows, and, well, she did notice the sunken bathing pool, open to the air beyond. Water spilling over the lip that projected above the drop and trickling into the endless fall below. Oh, take me there. I want to go there. Take me there. Let's go there.
I'm assuming we're to understand that's the same bedroom Feyre first stayed in, which is very sweet. It's kind of a little sweet touch.
Yes.
The two sisters went through this like transcendent process in this room.
Yes.
Although
also,
sweet isn't what I'm going to describe the next scene as.
Oh, yeah. And I was watching from down in the torture rooms, and I went, my eye is gonna pop out of my head.
How did you see through the whole mountain?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Well, that's what happens when you got bog brain, bro.
Whoa,
you can see through whatever you want, man.
Whoa. Whatever you want, bro.
To the other side, break on through to the other side.
The bath porn in this scene, and no, I don't mean porn that we're about to receive. I just mean the description of this bath makes me angry because I'm never going to be inside anything like it.
You're not. But maybe you will. Maybe, like, you can dream it real for the future.
Yeah, maybe we can fashion it to the side of a mountain.
Yeah, right? Someone's got a mountain we can strap a bathing pool to.
Somebody knows out there there'd be some experience like this somewhere. Tell me.
Because I feel like you could get this in, like, the Alps, right?
Maybe? I don't know. She realizes, I guess I need to get into this giant opulent tub overlooking the side of the mountain, scented with lavender, finally dinner. She watches the sun move towards the horizon, also making it golden hour because why not?
Oh, how beautiful.
The most beautiful sunset she's ever witnessed happens while she perches in the perfectly temperate water.
And I bet it never gets too cool. Like,
no,
I
it's
bet
perfect.
It always just remains perfect, too.
She washes her hair and body with scents of rosemary and almond.
What is she, a biscotti?
As the sun sets, she thinks of how good it felt under the mask. With fear, to have no care or feeling inside, how much that scares her now, to think of how the desire to not be stuck with her own troubling thoughts is what drew her to that room with the mask earlier that day, where they had found her, and how she hadn't told anybody that she was drawn because she was tempted by it, that she feels all of her feelings now, but she knows that when you're in the mask, all of that goes away, and she is sort of seduced by the idea of it.
Yeah, we already know that you like to hide inside of yourself how you're feeling, and this is just an extension of that, Nesta.
Well, it's sort of the symbolism of what happens when you become like a bad person, when you decide to not give your feelings any more credence and you like lose empathy and you don't care anymore. And so that's where she's kind of dancing around there, I think, and you got to reach out for help.
Reach out that hand.
As she's contemplating the paradoxical nature of her needing to be away from the mask while being the only one who can actually control it, there's a knock at the door. She drops below the surface of the water and bids the person enter.
Cassian strode in, a tray of food in hand, and halted when he didn't see her on the bed. His eyes shot to the sunken pool, and she could have sworn he almost dropped the tray onto the white carpet.
This is at the very least giving Nesta a distraction, and she leans into it. She's amused at his stuttering. She tells him,
man, there's nothing quite like that when you get, like, it's like you come out in an outfit and literally your partner's just like, whoa. When I came out in the Tiffany outfit, Jeff literally was like, oh. And I was like, oh, you literally have nothing to say?
That's so great. Cass tells her that he brought her food because he thought she'd want privacy to gather herself and not have to eat with everyone else. She's a bit taken aback at how well he knows her and the care and consideration he's shown in this moment, and it makes her horny. Cassian, obviously affected by this presumably nude Nesta under the water, stumbles that he'll put the food on the table. I'm going now, okay? Goodbye. I gotta go.
Just holds the tray over his groin. Yeah, I said groin. Groin yucks me out. I'm sorry. The second I said it, I was like, oh. No, he doesn't have a groin. He's got a big throbbing cock, Jackie.
There you go. She is again moved by how flustered he is and stops his retreating steps with, do you want to get in? She can see he's torn, and he points out that she's pretty badly injured. She's like, nah, I'm fine. He's like, I don't think you are, but... So Nesta begins to stand from the water and does that thing where her hair is a shirt.
I love hair as a shirt.
She notices his breathing change as she stands.
I just imagine it's cartoonish.
And it pleases her. Yes.
Her body seemed to say.
This, him. Life to drive away the mask. Life to drive away the horror of Oorid.
The need to touch him, feel his warmth and strength, pounded through her. Not gonna be the only thing pounded through her.
Yeah, we have to fuck for my health.
Yeah. Oh, it's to keep a mind off of Oorid. Oh. It's my John Travolta.
Oh, it sounded like Andrew Dice Clay there.
Oh,
I think that we've done this before. I think that I thought your John Travolta was Andrew Dice Clay before.
I think this exact conversation has happened.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just cough over your words there.
How dare you!
Cassian opens up. I thought you were dead today. As she continues to walk toward him, she replies she also thought he was dead. But she shuts him down when he tries to interject. That she must have been happy to think that he was dead. She simply says no, it did not make her happy. Cassian asks if this is what she really wants to do. Do you want to do this? She does want to, but it's just sex, she says to Cassian. Cassian's face shifts at this. Then he says he'll take whatever she'll give him.
No, Cassian!
Then, dear readers, we are treated to a 7-page sex scene.
We had to wait so long, and now we get more smart. This is the gift that we asked for. This is the gift that we waited for. 7-page sex scene.
It is a very good scene.
Ooh, it's a good scene.
And it is good. And
it was good.
At the end of the scene, they are... They're both facing the bed with Cassian behind.
What's he doing back there, Natalie?
Massage?
Oh, Oh, yeah, maybe he was teaching her something on the whiteboard, right?
yeah.
He was going, maybe he was showing her the map, being like, oh, where are in the night court?
I forgot to show where the Bog of Oorid is.
Oh, my God, where is it, Natalie?
I actually don't know where it
I
is.
actually don't know where it is.
It's somewhere in the middle. It's not here.
Okay, we know where it's
not there.
Okay.
So it's gotta be somewhere in here.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah. That middle-ish area.
Not here or here so much.
But right here.
Tommy boy.
Tommy boy.
So they're doggy style.
Yes.
But he's laying his whole body against her back because they've just collapsed, essentially.
He's probably like holding her and they're having like a cuddle, but it's just sex, right, Nesta?
But they're not
just
cuddle.
sex.
See, it's not a cuddle because it's like they finish. She's like laying on the back of her in that position, and they're both shook to their very cores and exchange whispered words while they are in that position, dancing around things they can't say to each other just yet. As he extricates himself from her, he calls her sex beautiful and loves that he's covered in it. Wait, he calls her sex.
You're just getting all awkward because you
beautiful.
gotta say awkward things.
He calls her sex beautiful because it's covered in him.
It is what, Natalie? Teach me about the birds and the bees, because I hear you get more flowers with honey.
No. Well, that's his honey, I guess.
That's his honey. His voice was so rough, she looked over a shoulder. Cassian still knelt, and his face, it was utterly devastated, as if she'd taken him apart and left him in ruin.
What is it?
She asked, but he moved off the bed and reached for his fallen clothes.
Girl, please.
You know.
You know what you're doing.
You know.
What is it?
Oh, what?
What? I'm sorry, but please.
You're holding him away from your heart, and we all see it, and we all know it, but it hurts.
But she's also doing this game where she knows she wants him deeply. She loves him. She knows that he loves her.
Mm-hmm.
He's not making any indication that this is like just a game between the two of them.
No.
Then she's like, "What's wrong? Oh my God, are you like deeply in love with me or something?" I don't.
Because he said
What?
it's just sex first, right?
No, she did.
That was the first time that it said.
Well, she says it to him. This can only be sex whenever he goes into her bedroom.
Yeah, so this is also like, I feel like
all her saying.
Yes, and like her like vulnerable, like doubling down of like, just so you know, which like, yeah, to protect you. But I feel like it's the kind of thing where she's not even realizing how much this is hurting him.
Maybe. I think maybe she knows a little bit.
No,
That's just
I'm trying to think good thoughts about her.
I mean, it's not like evil. It's just a thing that people do sometimes when they're
protect
pretending
themselves.
like they don't actually like each other that much.
Yeah.
What? What's
And then you have an
wrong?
experience like that, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just sex.
Yeah, exactly. He plasters a grin on his face and reminds her that it's just sex, remember? By her admission. She thinks about how this seems like a trap. But whatever, you laid the trap,
Yeah.
Nesta. With your, I don't have feelings for you. It's totally fine. This is whatever. It's just like a whatever thing. So she agrees with him. Yeah, totally. It's just sex. That was cool. He says, thanks for the ride, Ness. And he gives her a wink. And then he's gone. She seems perplexed.
She'd said just sex, but had thought it might at least come with some cuddling. A few minutes to enjoy the feeling of his body against hers before pride made her order him to leave. Nesta knelt in the bed and stared at the door, the silence her only answer.
I mean, that's what you said you wanted.
And you got what you wished for, didn't you?
That's what you said. He's technically being extremely respectful of you.
I wonder if, like, how she would have taken it if, like, I don't think that she was ready for it, but, like, if at this point he was like, it's not just sex.
I don't know.
You know? Like, I wonder because she knows that it's not just sex and she's just saying these things to keep him at arm's distance. But, like, I wonder how she would have taken it.
I don't know. Maybe she would have just been like, you're right. I'm sorry. I love you.
Yes, right?
Maybe. But I think also Cassian wouldn't, because he probably on some level knows that if she rejected him, it would like destroy him. And also you can't get any more of that good.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
If you really like make her like decide, because
Right.
then it is like putting it to her to like make a decision. Like, are you with me or are you not with me?
Right. So that's where we're gonna live. I know we didn't get to the last chapter for this week, but I kind of want to leave it here because we're past time, and I like leaving on.
Yeah. Think about yourself. Think about your choices, Nesta.
Think about, for yourselves out there. Think about the times this has happened with you and what you learned from it.
Man, I love thinking about that during the holidays.
Yeah, when you're with your family.
Yeah, just think about
Times
about
you've
all
had
the rowdy
awkward
sex.
sexual interactions with somebody you didn't know that well.
Yeah, and then maybe you never saw them ever again. Maybe you don't remember their names. Think about those times.
When you're sitting down to dinner with your parents.
Great ham, Mom. But then you're just flip, going through the photographs in your brain.
All of your intrusive thoughts coming to the forefront. I do think that is what the holidays are for. I think sometimes maybe that's why people get anxieties, because they do have breaks from their daily life. And they're like, what am I doing? Yeah. I've had that in my life before.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm just in a job that's just like grueling and it's not helping me towards the goals I want. You get those couple days off and you're just like, oh no. What am I going to do?
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I hope that you're not going through that this holiday season.
If you are going through that, you'll get past it. You will.
Yeah.
You'll be past it, and then you'll look back and you'll go like, remember how silly that felt?
And then we'll just be in cold, dark January.
Why would you do that? Why would you? Let's just stay in daylight savings time this year, please. I hate this time. Who wants it to be dark at 4? We do not need it.
No, man.
We do not need this.
No, I think that it's like the whole, like, they're encouraging SADs to continue.
Yeah, they like, it's a conspiracy. They want you to be sad so that you
take their pills.
Take their pills.
Let's start this pharmacy
It's fine,
conspiracy, and it's all about daylight savings time.
I'm quite certain that is not a new conspiracy in Q. I'm sure it's already existing. I'm sorry to tell you. We got to dig deeper.
All right, we have to do. We'll come up with a different conspiracy theory.
Okay, cool.